there's two topics of discussion. One is Lightfest, two is the clock-in digital scheduling system. So I guess we'll start with Lightfest. Obviously, if you don't know, or if you didn't see the email sent from Victoria, they are stepping down as Lightfest Committee chair individuals. So now there's no one who, I guess there's nobody really to run Lightfest. Like I said, they're the individuals who do the holiday decorations up on Chestnut Street, Front Street, Market Street, around the park. So obviously we need somebody to step up and do that moving forward. So not everyone volunteer at one time.
Well, I think Francis here.
Francis is right back there.
Francis, do a story and a nice job they have done and so forth. So we're forming a new committee.
A new committee or asking for new chair people?
Everybody, I think all the people we get.
No, I'm not saying that. You said a new committee. Are we keeping the same, like, it's Lightfest? I'm just calling it something else.
Oh, no, Lightfest Committee, we're just.
Usually new chairman and volunteer.
Yeah, that's okay. I just want to make sure.
So you're asking to do something to put out for volunteers, anybody and everybody to contact the city to join?
Yes, at Jeffrey's office.
So when those individuals come in, who is actually going to oversee the Lightfest committee to make sure things are getting put up, taken down, money being tracked, the decorations are actually being taken care of, not just, all right, we're going to throw them up, throw them down, get Santa in the, that was Victoria and Christine, and their volunteers that they got.
But so you want to know who's going to be responsible for the new ones coming in?
Correct, yeah, to make sure. I mean, I'm just going to say, it's the same Joe Blow says, all right, I'm going to do this, now it's November, like, I don't want to do it anymore because it's so much work. Who's going to be the person who's going to be like, all right, hey, I'm the one who took it on, so, I need to find people.
Well, I don't think we'd get to that decision this evening, but.
No, I'm just saying, we're just talking about it, it's not going to be decided.
Put the committee together, and them as a whole should sit down. And I know Steve and I have talked, and Steve knows what he does. I know what Matt does in Chestnut. Of course, Jeff handles the prisoners, they bring them in. And like I said, I think we'll get more volunteers. So now, so the person, the head person, I don't have an answer to that right now.
Also, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus.
Is
Like I
the
said,
Americans
that's all
gonna
under-
do the house again?
Pardon?
Is the Americans gonna do the house?
Santa?
I have no idea. We only flew in.
I know, well, I'm asking, is the
They
Americans,
can fill in this year.
is the Americans gonna,
Well, I think there's no, Francis, that's a good idea. No, I know you'll help if we have a situation.
I think we should probably
Yeah.
look for more than,
Those guys went to around.
we have to look for more than one Santa. We need to have backup, I would imagine. So I think we just put it out and see who volunteers and have a meeting and go from there and see who you put in.
I invoked to Kirsten, who does Santa Claus all the time.
who does Lightfest fall under? Is that Parks
That's
and
what I'm
Rec?
saying.
Who's that, Parks and Rec?
I probably should, because they decorate the parks and the rec.
I just remember, Francis, remember back in the day, it used to be like Mom and Terry
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Mel
yeah.
Purdy and all of them
Yeah.
did it at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know who it does fall under.
Wait, what do they decorate? Parks and the rec.
I didn't say any truth. That's something to work on.
All right. Anything about Lightfest? All right, moving on to the staff clock-in / digital scheduling. I know Travis showed some of the other departments how they do the scheduling. The police department with their sign-ins and things like that. We've been talking about it. We never pulled the trigger on it. So let's put the baby to bed. We're either going to do a digital sign-in and sign out, or we're not going to do it unless
It's
we're not.
basically what his does, right?
Basically.
And then
So Travis, can you
Because we went down,
Yeah.
Rachel and I went down.
Can you explain how you, at the police department, do your sign-in, your scheduling, all that stuff? So there's checks and balances on when people are showing up to work, when they're signing out, so it's not just, back in the 1980s, like, oh, we're filling out a time card that we can lie on.
Yeah, so here's, everybody has it on their phone. There's supervisory functions on the phone that basically allows the supervisory to basically add time, delete time, to approve time. It's called Plan and Schedule. There's also, you can send messages through it. You can send, we call it daily training bulletins. So if you want the officers to basically for your employee to complete a course. There's a place in here that you can do that they have to complete the course. They also have to sign the timesheet, and they can digitally sign, they actually sign that.
You're saying that's just for supervisors on the phone, or you want every employee to have it on the phone?
Every
Because
employee.
every employee does not have a city phone, so there's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, well, that's all.
Personal smartphone.
Yeah. So you could also do it, you don't have to have it on your phone, you can have it on your laptop at home and be able to sign into it. You have administrative rights, and you also have officer, you have just plain, your employee rights. So you have administration and employee. This, on ours, it will show our scheduling, and I'll top up our scheduling on here. It basically puts you right through and will show all the way through the year, since our schedule is good for one whole year. It shows the schedule all the way out through the year. Here's kind of an example of that, where you can basically go right up through, see who's working, when they're working. We have different details, so as the chief, like on, let's say, I'll take it back to the 31st. I put on the notes far felt well in advance, and everybody gets to see these. No approved time off, Sunbury celebration, ball drop, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. open skate at the rink, Kurtz 1:15 p.m. walk through ice skating rink for 15 minutes, Plank 2:15 walk through ice skating rink 15 minutes. Both complete a complaint screen. Riley Brummagem 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Cameron Park stationary for ball drop. Crowd control officers can only leave for emergencies, call otherwise. Stay stationary. Herbster 5 p.m. to 6:30. Cameron Park stationary for ball drop. Crowd control.
So it can be as easier as, it can be as explanatory or not.
Right, and you can basically go in, I can set things, I also set up stuff. Ours are a little bit different because I can set ours up for like when we're meeting with confidential informants. That's all of our stuff's in there for confidential informants. Also, if we're gonna do any type of a raid, we have something going on, I can pre-plan it, and then I can then also send it out as an alert.
So, but it's very different compared to every other department, but it can be
You
utilized.
can
however.
really simplify this, really easy for the department.
Does it have to be on their phones for them to check in and out?
No, I
So
think
they
you're
can come into the office,
concerned about like
yes.
time card, time stamping.
And just, if they can come in, because a lot of, we have people struggle with,
So-
they're not gonna put this on their phone.
So basically, yeah, so this is just a phone showing scheduling, but what this also lets you do is, if an employee's taking time off, they have to say, I'm the only one that can approve their time off.
Right, have to go to the department.
Or it goes to the department head, who's going to approve it, then I would make the approval. Like any overtime that basically goes out, unless it's court time, they have to explain on here why they did overtime. So there's an explanation as to why they had overtime. This case, this person, this defendant, explains everything out. Then there's a timestamp on it showing who approved it, who didn't approve it. There's a ledger. Everything is basically timestamped, date and time, and that can't be changed.
What software is it?
What's that?
What's the software company?
It's called Plant Schedule, PowerTime.
And I know,
Plant, yeah.
Plan.
Yeah, Planit.
and I know Jeff called them about seeing if we can piggyback off of what the police already use, and I'm pretty sure, Jeff, they said we could piggyback off what the police already use for no additional cost.
So this is just basically your scheduling, but it also for hearings, it sets it up for the hearings, the guys and girls basically get their hearings pushed out to them. It shows them basically anytime there's a schedule change, it will ding on their phone, let them know.
So this is more schedule on your phone than it is check in and check out?
Right, so
Okay.
right, so it's check in and check out, so with that, that's just a great program all in all.
Well, that would be nice for like Cobra GPW, but
Yeah,
treasury and rink and stuff, it isn't gonna matter.
right. So then what we have at the station is when you come in, I have on a phone where you'll have on your personal fob, you can fob in and fob out. So when the employee comes in, they hit the fob at the door coming in, and then they have to fob through the whole station, so I can basically follow them. But that's timestamped. When they fob in, when they fob out. The other thing is our officers then go and they have to call on duty to the 911 center by radio. So it's, some ones at 11. They would then, the county would then have me. So now I have 2 checks, okay? So I have this check when I'm coming in the door, and then I have the county check when I come in the door. So there's actually two different checks. Your fob, that, and then my third check is my camera system. And my camera system basically has the door that officers make the entry in, because there's only one door they basically usually come in, is that back door. Or they can come in whatever way they want to. But you have the camera system that can also then follow them throughout the departments. There's 3 checks and balances there. There's the key fob it in. Number 2 would be us that we call on duty. And then number 3 is your camera system that basically has the same type when you're walking through the door. And that's gonna meet your fob time. And there's only one person in the station, which I have, is the civilian staff that basically has control of our fob system, and that's Renee. That way, there's nothing me going in and changing the fob. Try to change time, because there'd be a timestamp on it. It's keeping its integrity in place.
But I don't think that system works for you guys. I don't see that system working for anybody else.
My question
You almost
is-
need an actual
Well, I mean, you
clock
can,
in and clock out.
I
You
mean,
said
if you want to do something.
it works on the computer, right?
Correct,
So when somebody says on the computer, check in, you can check in.
yeah.
I mean, instead of doing it on your phone, you can just do it on the computer, sign in.
But that's not what Travis is saying. Travis
Can
is
you
saying.
do it on, can you do it on a computer, like sign in on the computer itself?
I could not sign on, I could not sign on, I just have a schedule. basically.
No, I'm just saying, we'll say Brad Slack, when he comes into work, is there an option where, I'm making this up here, all right, signing in at 7 AM for shift? Is there, then, all right, I'm clocking out at 3 PM. Is there?
That's would be the fob system.
Yeah,
Okay.
he uses all the other stuff. We
Yeah,
would
I
actually physically need them to be able to come into their computer to clock in and
Or-
clock out.
He does things differently.
Or, I mean, the
We
fob
do- I
is,
make sure we have.
Yeah, you have 3 ways.
We have 3 ways, but the fob there would be the way of every.
Check in.
When you check in, you just fob in.
right there, because,
It's,
I mean, whether you have a smartphone or iPhone or flip phone, all you do is put the fob, like, the little thing, stick it right to the back of your
That's
phone.
not gonna work at DPW though.
and then Mayor, when you leave, you just they fob again. That way, they're leaving.
No, but this,
It won't work at all that way.
Computer, see what.
But you also have the camera.
but no, I mean, you just get, all you do is get 2 fobs, one at the door they come in, or one at the break room door, you have to fob in, they get in and get out, and that's it, same thing.
Do they have fobs then? Do you guys have?
They don't.
No, they don't, but they can get them, I mean.
Fob's cheap, it's a cheap way, it's a cheap system.
Yeah,
My question, is it location based? Like when you clock in, it's location based?
Yeah, it's all, not all, yeah, it has
Because
to be.
if nobody can, like, if you're scanning your fob, I can see somebody who don't on their phone, they can clock in when they leave because they're running late to work, and then they clock out whenever.
Right.
So that's what's the accountability component for those who don't
We
utilize
have-
a fob, and
We have that, yeah.
they try to clock in?
They should be able to see those.
Correct, just to make sure like
You
they're not trying
can't, you can't clock in.
Yeah, typically on those systems, like at least the ones I'm familiar with, you can geofence where they can and cannot come in, but also too, if they punch in like outside the map, it geotags and like punches where they are, and like that goes back to supervisor check and approval, like where they're supposed to be clocked in.
So, but that could be, so
In the case where
you can't clock in unless you're like within 0.5 miles of.
Yeah.
So, we used to have police workers that walk in. Because our particular client's residence, because it's supposed to be stop, this is what we should back out. So they will do that.
I'm just concerned about this. If they're running late, or if they're from lunch or whatnot, they say, I'm gonna punch in, I'm in, and I'm just going back to the office, and it's 3 miles down the road, it takes 15 minutes, it adds up to a
No,
two.
you just, I don't know about that system.
Right, this fob system, basically, you fob in, you're fobbing in, it's giving you a date, time, and basically who the swab is in the rest of it. So this tag is my tag. Then, when I basically have a fob for lunch or anything like that, when we go to click out, we go to the locker room. So you're fobbing at the locker room, you're fobbing in, and you're leaving there, but you also have the camera system. And doors, basically, in the one, so that's your door, we got should be in front. Just to make sure. But the nice thing also with this is if somebody loses this, I can call Renee, and Renee can immediately take somebody right off. And they'll have no access to nothing. She can also allow access to different doors. Like, I have full access to the whole department except for hours. I have a civilian staff that's somebody tries to get in there, and they're denied, it's going to get time.
So, my next. So he said it's not any additional for us. There's no additional licenses, it's not.
The only thing that would cost money is if they were gonna train us, I think it's $1,000, but he's free. He trains for free, him and Renee would train for free, they would charge us $5 to come train us.
Yeah.
But we don't need that.
No,
we don't
take-
need.
The also thing that I would add to that is we could keep up the policy and procedure, that this way it keeps from somebody like me giving my air tag to Slack and saying, hey, back in. We have it triple check because we have cameras, which you guys do not here, so the policy would be, that would be immediate termination.
Yeah, I mean, there's cameras, I mean, with that, with the cameras, there's cameras on the building, but
Well,
policy would also help, prevention of the integrity.
Like, my work has fobs too, and if you come in a few minutes late and you fob in like at 10 after 8 in the morning, then in the evening you just fob out at 10 after 4 or something, you know, it's like,
You make up that
you
time.
just make up the
or-
time at the end of the day, that the time you come in late, that's all.
I mean, if you're,
Yeah, you can allow
yes, if we allow, like I said, we can allow grace period, I mean, technically you can fob in at any time, but we'll say, for example, you can't fob out. I'm saying like 15 minutes early, you can only fob out, make it stuff 1 minute.
For our lines, it's a little different. We have 7 o'clock.
Yeah, your start time.
Our start time, 7 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you know, better be on it. And I do periodic audit, so you can audit your system as well and say, okay, you know, give me all the time ins for 1 week. And I can repair that if I see somebody that clocked in 7:03, 7:04, I'm gonna go that way. With the 7:03, 7:04 thing. You know, same thing, you know, you're clocking out, ours is different, overtime, late calls and stuff like that, but not getting to work is the big, and it's always been the big concern, is making sure people are getting work on time.
Yeah.
And that covers your policies and those others.
Yeah, and like I said, if we go with the fob, it's just mapping back to the supervisor, right, double checking, hey, did people show up on time, and, you know, with the digital scheduling, all right, they showed up on time, or they showed up late, or, you know, they're calling off, it's just a matter of going in and checking. And it falls back onto the supervisor, if, you know, if they're doing what they were supposed to be doing, checking time sheets on both, like I said, both signing in and signing out.
And maybe you could put that in your policy that the manager or whoever oversees the department supervisor does an audit and report that out.
Yeah.
And even one audit, you know, just to make sure that everything is balanced.
I mean, for me, I'm not against like the clock in or digital scheduling, but this is the system that it has, it sounds like it's only digital scheduling, so what do we do with clock in software?
I mean, like I said, we just go with, I mean, it goes back to, if you go with the fob, like, everybody has to fob in to get in the finance
And
department.
then just have the supervisor.
Supervisor manually track it, like, you know, like I said, have your once a month audit saying, hey, you know, we paid, I'm making this up here, you showed up an hour late, but we paid you for 8, that goes back to the supervisor, not accounting for their own personnel, and going back and say, hey, what's going on? Even, you know, I mean, that's the extreme example, but once again, if that should be happening anyway, but a supervisor, even if someone's showing up late, or,
Well, and then that monthly audit can be, we had our half day for holiday, and they would just.
Yeah, I mean,
all
yeah, plus that
the, all
would
the
be in,
update.
yeah, plus that would be in the schedule anyway, like, you know, here it is, there it is, blackout time, you can't take off. You know, imagine like when taxes come out, you guys are gonna be swamped, all right, you can't take off, I'm making this up, their first week, because you know we're gonna be swamped that first week.
And then
So you're really strict with the time?
you can also see, excuse me, or you can also see with on Planet is like, I do a timesheet. So here's my timesheet, I have to approve my timesheet, verify my timesheet, sign my timesheet, and then not only that, but it breaks it down, holidays, shifts, vacation, because all the vacation's already in this Planet, and it already tracks it for you. And then what I have in place with Lisa is that every month I send down my time that the guys that use or the girls that use, so it matches her time. And if we're not matching, then there's a problem, we gotta figure that out. But This planet scheduling does it all for you.
Questions, anyone? Oh, okay, I guess let's first off, are we opposed to going to digital scheduling? So at least there's a digital record footprint that shows, all right, these people should be working on these dates, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it, because, we're about 40 years too late to the party on this, with, we're still doing handwritten time cards. Everybody okay with doing a digital platform for scheduling purposes?
I mean, a bunch of them are gonna be set schedules.
Well, then, yeah. And then, all right, how do we feel, like, obviously we're not making a decision right now, we're just discussing it. But how do we feel about going with the fob? I mean, basically, doing people, this is going, not to say to effect, but going to effect for is DPW, because they really don't have a fob system, and there's fob system here, fob system up the ring, but not really quite down at DPW. And it's as easy as putting, I said, the air tag on, doesn't matter what kind of phone you have, just putting it on the back of it and boop, in and out, to, for checks and balances of signing in.
Well, we can fall down there and put them up, right? I think that costs for us in parking racks.
And do we have fobs on every building at this point? That's
Everything but I think DPW to a point,
Nothing down there.
nothing down there. Even with that brand new renovation, we didn't put fobs in.
No, Steve said he didn't know how to work it.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, I mean, why go off the training for stuff, right?
It should be easy enough to put in.
Excuse me really quick, Mr. Francis, 'cause
Yes.
I rudely interrupted you, asking a question. Was there something you needed to address council? I
No, just you. I said, well, you're really strict with the time,
With what?
with the time of coming in.
Well, there's things that go on in every day's life, but was there times that we addressed stuff? Slack knows I was very hard on that. I'm very, very hard on that. And they say about leaving 15 minutes, our guys would love to have 15 minutes, but 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I said 7 minutes.
You said.
I don't want people doing that for them, right?
Every day for 10, 15, 20 minutes. All right. Any other questions regarding those two topics of discussion at tonight's work session meeting? All right, I guess the work session's over until the next council meeting, the next meeting at 6:15.
Ordinance that allows you to utilize these buildings that won't be a school again, won't be a church again, into any use with the exception of highway, commercial, or industrial. So we've identified, as I said, Sunbury Hospital and the middle school, and what we'd like to do is adopt an ordinance to allow individuals to utilize those again. We also noticed that within the ordinance, it was vacant of care facilities and daycare facilities, and we've added those also. So just wanted to open the floor for conversation. I sent this out to everyone, it's been advertised properly, it's gone through planning. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions for Jackie, anyone?
Comment, thank you, Jackie, I know you spent a lot of time in this.
Okay.
By doing this, hospital, I feel within the next year should get some good interest in purchasing and so forth, once they realize what they can do with it.
Sure.
And we have more buildings in the city you'll be working on because once the investors find out what's possible here in the city, they'll come and pick a building, come back to yourself, and you can say, here's what we can do for this building, this situation, this situation.
Sure,
So,
very good.
thank you.
And just so everyone knows, to be able to do this would also be by special exception. So you wouldn't just be allowing someone to come in and doing basically, whatever they wanted. It would be advertised, neighbors would be able to come in and comment. There could be specific conditions put on this use. So I just think it's a good way to start developing some of the empty properties that I know right now the Sunbury Hospital has been vandalized time after time, and I think we need something, for individuals to gain some interest in
Any other comments, questions, concerns for Jackie? All right, thank you, Jackie.
Yep.